The political landscape is buzzing with the echoes of 2016 as Donald Trump once again commands the spotlight. This déjà vu moment is amplified by a recent and chilling assassination attempt on Trump, an event that seems to eerily resonate with an ancient prophecy. The seer in question is none other than Nostradamus, born Michel de Nostradamus in 1503. Hailing from a prosperous family with Jewish heritage in southern France, Nostradamus penned Les Prophéties, the Prophecies, in 1555. This collection of 942 poetic quatrains is believed by some to foretell events ranging from Hitler's rise to power and the assassination of JFK to the tragic demise of King Henry II of France. The accuracy of these prophecies has always been a subject of fascination and debate, but their ability to capture the world's attention is undeniable. Now, in 2024, Nostradamus's enigmatic predictions have taken on renewed significance. Whispers of these prophecies are circulating, hinting at startling revelations that could reshape our understanding of the future. Meanwhile, the world was recently shaken by a shooting incident during a Donald Trump rally in Pennsylvania. While Trump miraculously escaped unharmed, this alarming event serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of our times. It also raises questions about the potential connection between this modern-day incident and the centuries-old prophecies of Nostradamus. In his initial response to the shooting, Donald Trump shared a chilling account, describing the bullet that grazed his ear and the immediate realization of the danger he faced. He expressed gratitude for the swift action of law enforcement and offered condolences to the victims and their families. The incident reverberated across the globe, with world leaders expressing shock and condemnation, while social media users attempted to find humor in the situation through references to The Simpsons. However, a more ominous undercurrent runs beneath the surface. Nostradamus, the 16th century seer, had once alluded to the fate of President John F. Kennedy long before the tragic event unfolded in Dallas, Texas, on November 22, 1963. This chilling prophecy has fueled speculation and conspiracy theories for decades. One of Nostradamus's most unsettling predictions reads, "The ancient task will be completed from on high. Evil will fall on the great man. A dead innocent will be accused of the deed. The guilty one will remain in the mist." While Lee Harvey Oswald was officially identified as the lone gunman, this cryptic verse has been interpreted by some as suggesting a wider conspiracy. Whether these theories hold any weight or not, the connection between Nostradamus's prophecy and the Kennedy assassination continues to captivate and disturb. Citing Nostradamus's prophecy, some suggest the dead innocent could be Lee Harvey Oswald, fatally shot before his trial, leaving doubts about the true culprit escaping justice. Oswald himself claimed innocence before his death. However, without a trial, the truth about his role in JFK's assassination remains a mystery, sparking ongoing controversy even 6 decades later. Could Nostradamus have foreseen this enduring puzzle? Some wonder if his prophecies also encompass figures like Trump, facing different outcomes despite similar threats. Trump's resilience during a near miss, where he was grazed by a bullet, strengthened his public image and garnered widespread support. This incident has fueled speculation about Trump's political future, with many anticipating a strong comeback in the White House race. In today's discussions, parallels are drawn between Trump's and Nostradamus's predictions, especially with Trump's presidential ambitions. As anticipation grows, people worldwide are eager to understand what these prophecies could mean for America and global affairs under a potential Trump administration. Meet Alan Lichtman, often dubbed the Nostradamus of U.S. presidential elections, celebrated for his extraordinary knack for predicting who will win the White House. With an impressive track record of accurately calling 9 out of the last 10 elections, Lichtman's unique approach has earned him both acclaim and scrutiny. To unravel the mystery of election outcomes, Lichtman developed what he calls the 13 Keys to the White House, a game-changing method that redefined how elections are forecasted. These keys, a series of simple true or false questions, assess factors like economic performance, social stability, and the charisma of the sitting president. By diving deep into historical data stretching back to Lincoln's era, Lichtman crafted a predictive model that goes beyond traditional polling. Lichtman faced his biggest challenge in the chaotic 2000 election between Al Gore and George W. Bush. Despite predicting a Gore victory, the controversial result cast a shadow over his method. Yet every election is a dynamic process shaped by unexpected twists. Joe Biden's recent debate performance against Trump stirred voter reconsideration, underscoring the uncertainty until the last ballot is cast. History shows even presidents like Obama faced doubt in debates, but ultimately triumphed, proving that election outcomes remain a suspenseful journey until the final results are in. Now comes The Simpsons. It has earned a reputation for its uncanny ability to predict real-world events, and its insights into Donald Trump's political trajectory are no exception. One of its most notable predictions occurred when Lisa Simpson, in a fictional future, assumes the presidency and casually mentions inheriting financial woes from President Trump. Originally intended as a playful jab at Trump's earlier dalliance with presidential ambitions under the Reform Party, this remark gained unexpected credibility when Trump went on to win the presidency in 2016. Adding to the intrigue, a chalkboard gag in a subsequent episode humorously lamented, "Being right sucks," coinciding with Trump's 2024 re-election bid announcement, eerily echoing the show's earlier portrayal. In yet another stroke of prescience, The Simpsons featured a memorable 2015 episode titled Traumatic Voyage. Here, Homer Simpson finds himself on a bizarre adventure after a close encounter with Trump's iconic hairpiece, setting out on a mission to make America great and glorious again. The scene depicting Homer soaring past a Trump 2024 campaign sign became an instant viral sensation, highlighting the show's knack for blending humor with surprisingly accurate glimpses into future political scenarios.
Glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States,
declared the former president. This announcement underscores a recurring theme in popular culture, where references to Donald Trump's presidency have surfaced multiple times, notably in a 2000 episode of a famous television show. Trump, having previously served as president, has articulated his policy intentions, including proposals for large-scale deportations and a nuanced stance on defending foreign allies under certain conditions. His agenda also includes restructuring federal bureaucracy, appointing political loyalists to career civil service roles, leveraging law enforcement against opponents, and painting a stark picture of America's future under his leadership if he returns to the White House. Expanding on his vision for a second term, Trump's platform diverges from traditional conservative views on government, advocating for expanded presidential powers and targeting various groups within American society. However, his path back to the presidency is fraught with challenges. If Trump secures victory in the upcoming November election, it would once again validate predictions made by a popular animated series, The Simpsons, known for its uncanny ability to foresee future events. Recent events involving Trump highlight the underlying instability in contemporary politics and society. Amid brewing conspiracies and uncertainties, parallels have been drawn to Nostradamus's prophetic writings, which foretell a turbulent global landscape. Geopolitical experts and journalists increasingly speculate about potential conflicts centered around China's rise as a global power. Tensions in regions like the South China Sea and Taiwan underscore China's assertiveness through naval demonstrations. Analysts fear these developments could escalate into broader conflict involving NATO countries, resembling Nostradamus's centuries-old predictions of naval battles and ominous warnings about global adversaries. Recent events involving Donald Trump have starkly illuminated the underlying instability within our political and social spheres. Beneath the facade of stability, brewing conspiracies and uncertainties cast a shadow of unpredictability over the future. These developments bring to mind the prophetic musings of figures like Nostradamus, who envisioned a world rife with turmoil and conflict. As geopolitical experts and journalists analyze global dynamics, there is growing concern over the potential for a significant global conflict akin to the events leading up to World War I. Central to these concerns is the rise of China as a dominant global power, accompanied by assertive actions in regions like the South China Sea and Taiwan, often demonstrated through naval deployments. These actions have heightened tensions and raised fears of a broader conflict involving NATO countries, potentially escalating into a full-scale military confrontation. Nostradamus, centuries ago, penned verses that some interpret as foreseeing such global conflicts. His cryptic descriptions of naval battles and a red adversary causing profound fear across vast oceans have been linked to modern-day scenarios, including tensions involving China and conflicts in regions like Ukraine, Taiwan, or Palestine. In discussions about the end times, some interpreters perceive current global events as harbingers of an impending apocalypse. While these events may reflect societal upheaval and moral decay, biblical teachings caution against definitive interpretations, emphasizing instead the need for discernment amidst evolving global dynamics. Scriptures warn of increasing deception and moral decline preceding the prophesied end times, urging vigilance rather than speculative certainty. Throughout Christian history, believers have speculated on the timing of these prophesied events, often associating them with wars, societal decay, and natural disasters. Yet, biblical scriptures do not prescribe a specific number of world wars, though they do foresee periods of conflict and turmoil preceding divine judgment and ultimate redemption. Looking ahead, biblical prophecy suggests continued global upheavals, including at least one more world-scale conflict before the ultimate resolution under the rule of Christ. These teachings underscore a cyclical pattern in human history, marked by periods of crisis and divine intervention, leading to final judgment and the establishment of God's eternal kingdom. While contemporary global tensions and geopolitical shifts may hint at potential future conflicts and uncertainties, biblical teachings assure believers of a sovereign plan culminating in justice, righteousness, and everlasting peace under the reign of Christ. These teachings provide a framework for understanding current events within a broader narrative of divine providence and ultimate redemption. Nostradamus, renowned for his prophetic visions, didn't limit himself to America and Donald Trump. He also peered into the year 2024 with intriguing foresight. Among his predictions stands the fate of Pope Francis, suggesting the possibility of his departure from the papacy. At 87 years old in 2024, Pope Francis has faced numerous health challenges, including recent issues like lung inflammation that prevented his attendance at the UN Climate Conference. According to Nostradamus, following the passing of an aged pontiff, a new leader from Rome will ascend, described as someone who may weaken the office but will persist with enduring influence. This prophecy invites speculation on what weakening entails. Is it a decline in the Church's authority or the onset of unforeseen trials? Yet, deciphering Nostradamus's cryptic quatrains requires careful interpretation, as his writings are famously open to multiple meanings. The mention of a younger pope potentially signals a period of transition and uncertainty within the Vatican hierarchy. Beyond the pontifical predictions, Nostradamus delves into the ominous figure of the Antichrist, a recurring theme across centuries. He foretold the rise of three Antichrists, with figures like Napoleon and Hitler fulfilling earlier prophecies. The third Antichrist, destined to usher in cataclysmic events, remains a subject of intense speculation. Names like Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and King Charles have been suggested, but their identities remain uncertain against the backdrop of prophetic shadows. We are living in a pivotal era where spiritual and ideological battles intensify, signaling for some the approaching return of Christ and the final showdown between good and evil. This theological landscape, grounded in biblical teachings, warns of false prophets and antichrists who deny Christ's divinity and seek to undermine faith's core principles. The concept of the Antichrist, as depicted in biblical scriptures, underscores a period of moral testing and discernment, where believers are called to stand firm in truth amid pervasive deception. Throughout history, the figure of the Antichrist has taken on various forms, each revealing a deeper, more sinister reality. Many individuals throughout time have embodied what we might call an Antichrist spirit. Those who oppose the values and teachings associated with Christ. These figures are not mere historical footnotes, but manifestations of a darker spiritual force. Beyond these individual manifestations, there is the singular figure of the Antichrist prophesied in Scripture. This individual, who is yet to be revealed, will be the ultimate embodiment of the Antichrist spirit that has been lurking in the shadows of human history. While his identity remains hidden, his influence can be felt, casting a foreboding presence on the world stage. At the culmination of the current era, this supremely evil and powerful figure will rise to dominate humanity, albeit for a short time. This will be the Antichrist in his final, most potent form. Underpinning both the individual Antichrists and the final Antichrist is the spirit of the Antichrist itself. This pervasive force operates through all who embody its characteristics. Notably, the spirit of the Antichrist often begins its insidious work within the community of believers, masquerading as something it is not. However, its true nature is inevitably exposed. This deceptive infiltration and subsequent unmasking is a hallmark of the spirit of the Antichrist. The Antichrist isn't just one villain, but a recurring role throughout history. Many figures have worn this mask, opposing everything associated with Christ. They serve as chilling reminders of a shadowy force working against goodness in the world. But beyond these historical stand-ins, there's the ultimate Antichrist, the final boss, still waiting in the wings. This figure is the culmination of the Antichrist spirit's evil influence. Though his true identity remains hidden, his sinister presence can already be felt, casting a shadow over the world. When the time is right, he'll step into the spotlight as a supremely wicked and powerful ruler, briefly dominating humanity. Eerily echoing these biblical warnings, the 16th century prophet Nostradamus predicted a year of global chaos in 2024. He saw escalating conflicts, political upheaval, naval warfare, royal scandals, and a major humanitarian crisis. But the biggest threat, he warned, comes from nature itself. Nostradamus predicted a cascade of climate disasters that would put humanity at risk, stating that the dry earth will become drier, and suddenly a great flood will come. This dire prediction suggests that our already stressed climate is heading for a breakdown. Nostradamus foresaw extreme weather events like record heat, wildfires, droughts, and storms becoming more frequent and severe. While the Bible doesn't directly mention climate change, it does talk about the world's fiery end, which could be seen as a metaphor for our escalating environmental crisis. 2 Peter 3:10 warns, "But the day of the Lord will come like a thief. The heavens will disappear with a roar. The elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth and everything done in it will be laid bare." This raises a tough question. Should we fight to save a planet that God intends to destroy and replace with a far better version? While this might make climate action seem less urgent, it also highlights the importance of understanding God's plan and aligning our actions with it. Ultimately, our planet's fate is in the hands of its Creator, and it's up to us to seek guidance as we face the challenges ahead. Nostradamus' prophecy for 2024 aligns eerily with recent scientific warnings about escalating climate change. The U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, predicts a one-third chance that 2024 will be even hotter than the record-breaking 2023, and a near certainty that it will rank among the 5 hottest years on record. This alarming forecast is based on the combined effects of human-induced climate change and the El Niño weather pattern, along with other natural factors. The world has already witnessed a series of extreme weather events in recent times, including snowstorms in North America, volcanic eruptions in Iceland, dense fog, and plunging temperatures in India. These events offer a glimpse of the increasingly harsh realities we face as our climate continues to destabilize. Adding to this grim outlook, Nostradamus predicted a devastating famine in 2024, triggered by a wave of pestilence. Interestingly, the concept of famine as a consequence of divine wrath is not unique to Nostradamus. The Bible also speaks of famine as both a punishment for disobedience and an opportunity for repentance. In ancient Israel, a land prone to drought, famine was a recurring threat. The Bible describes a direct link between obedience to God's laws and the land's fertility. Disobedience, on the other hand, would bring about devastating consequences, including drought and famine. In the ancient world, there was no concept of nature or chance as we understand them today. Instead, good fortune was attributed to divine favor, while misfortune was seen as a sign of divine displeasure. National calamities like famine were often interpreted as punishments for the sins of the people or their rulers. Prophets and oracles would attempt to discern the cause of the divine wrath and offer guidance on how to appease the gods. However, famine was also viewed as a potential turning point, a chance for repentance and transformation. In the book of Samuel, for instance, a 3-year famine during King David's reign is attributed to the sins of his predecessor, King Saul. By acknowledging and addressing the root cause of the famine, David was able to lead his people towards a brighter future. The biblical and prophetic warnings about famine serve as a stark reminder of our interconnectedness with the natural world and our dependence on divine providence. As we grapple with the escalating climate crisis, these ancient teachings offer valuable insights into the consequences of our actions and the potential for renewal and transformation. Whether we choose to heed these warnings and take meaningful action to address climate change remains to be seen. Nostradamus' cryptic prediction of a wave of pestilence in 2024 has sparked widespread speculation, with many interpreting it as a forewarning of devastating earthquakes. The idea that these disasters signal the end times has been a recurring theme throughout history. However, the New Testament consistently affirms that the last days commenced with Christ's first coming, suggesting that we are currently living in the latter stages of this era. Yet, the book of Revelation does describe even more catastrophic earthquakes during the tribulation period, far surpassing anything humanity has ever experienced. Despite this, many still turn to Jesus' Olivet Discourse in Mark 13 to interpret the significance of earthquakes in our time. The comparison to birth pains offers a powerful analogy. Just as labor pains indicate the imminent arrival of a new life, so do these earthly disasters remind believers of Christ's eventual return and the ushering in of a new era. In this context, earthquakes and other natural calamities are not merely destructive events, but also harbingers of hope. They serve as stark reminders that this world is not our final destination, and that a new, transformed reality awaits us. While the prospect of such cataclysmic events may be unsettling, they also offer a profound sense of anticipation and a renewed focus on our spiritual journey.